Good day everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Franco Allo and this channel is all about knife knowledge, reviews, unboxings, and head-to-heads. Today we have a special series of knife reviews. Earlier this month, Quintin Middleton from Middleton Made Knives sent us 4 of his knives. The one I'm currently holding is his 4-inch paring knife from the Eco line. It has a beautiful dyed birch veneer handle in charcoal. It is made out of AEB-L steel. And so every week I'm going to be trying every Sunday to have a knife review for each of the knives that he sent me, of which there are 4. One of these knives will also end up being a knife raffle. And so I strongly encourage you to watch every single video to find out which of these knives will be a knife raffle. The knife raffle will be simple, but I'll explain it once we get to the knife that becomes a knife raffle. Today, however, is not about all the knives he sent me. It's about, again, this gorgeous Eco line. I keep saying Eco, must be because I'm a wildlife biologist. This Eco line series knife, 4-inch AEB-L, completely stainless steel, and again, dyed birch veneers. For those of you who don't know who Quintin Middleton is, easy. Someone else out there already put together a fabulous video, and so I'm going to drop a link in the video description below so you can go and find out more about Quintin Middleton. But the essence of Quintin Middleton is he's essentially a USA blacksmith making hand-forged knives in St. Stephen's, South Carolina, United States of America. And so I thank him again for reaching out to me in September, sending me 4 of his awesome knives. So what you will see next is you will see this knife put to the test. Now when I say put to the test, it's because the way I like to review knives, I don't want to use them simplistically in the way that they were designed to do. Sometimes, despite having many knives, I like to pick up a knife that I want to pick up because it looks good in hand and I want to use it. It might not always be ideal for the task at hand, but that's exactly the point of testing a knife. It's testing it outside of its comfort zone. And so you'll probably see some ingredients that you'll say, Frankie, I wouldn't cut that with a paring knife. But again, that's why I wanted to do it anyways, just so that I can have something to say about maybe those particular ingredients. Now, before we get into the food demo, I do want to say that initially when Quintin and I spoke, he calls this a paring knife. And then I think it was before I received it, I somehow agreed with him and said that I thought it was more of a petty. After having used it, I actually now disagree. So sorry, Quintin, I'll tell you why I disagree, but this is a fabulous paring knife, not a petty. So without further ado, let's get into the food demo and then we'll come back and I'll share my thoughts. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the food demo. And so first order of business for my knife review on the topic of how this knife was labeled. Paring knife, I said I thought it was more of a petty. Now I disagree, and here's why I disagree. As you've seen in the food demo, and as you see right in front of you, 4 inches, and actually especially for my Japanese kitchen knife users out there, that's just a little over 100 millimeters. So it's a very short length. And over that short length, you have quite the angle variation from the heel to the tip. It swoops quite a bit. A petty, by definition, is a utility knife, a sandwich knife as the Westerners call it, and it typically has a very flat belly profile. This is not a flat belly profile. Every single time that this paring knife comes into contact with the cutting board, there's very little surface area from that cutting edge that's actually in contact with the cutting board. And so for that reason, if you're going to be using this on the cutting board, and I do strongly advise that you do, but you'll find difficulty in cutting an item, produce, that's going to be larger in diameter than the actual cutting surface that is in contact with the board. Whereas when you use it in hand, as you slice towards yourself from heel to tip, the cutting edge of the blade never comes close to being in contact with your skin. And so I most enjoyed this knife from everything you saw when I actually used it in hand. Banana, apple, those were great. It felt fantastic. It felt like one of my grandma's paring knives. Now, it is true that in terms of paring knives, in terms of shape, this doesn't have either the classic bird's beak or sheep's foot profile. But that being said, again, because it really has that angular variation from heel to tip, this is why I think this is a paring knife and not a petty. Now, in terms of build, it's fantastic. I really like the dyed birch veneers. It's super clean. Charcoal is up my alley. Gray, I know some people would argue it's not really a color, but it is one of my favorite colors. The pins are fairly smooth. I say fairly smooth because I can't ever really critique on how smooth a pin is in terms of finish compared to the handle, because I do live in Edmonton and it is a very dry climate. And when I moved here 6 years ago, only then did I start to have issues with the type of wood that I was trying to maintain at home. I had my first Japanese wah handle crack just because it was that dry. And so I can't say, Quintin, if I'm trying to be really anal, your pin sticks out of the handle a little bit, because honestly that could very easily be the climate in Edmonton. It is winter, it's very dry in the house. Point is, if I'm not being super anal about it, it is very flush. Of course, this is also a full tang knife, and despite that, you know, spoiler alert for all the other knife reviews, but every single one of his Echo line knives are so light and nimble. Of course, the primary bevel is more Western than it is Japanese kitchen knife style, because you don't really have a shinogi, right? It's more of a V-grind. Despite that being said, it handled the cherry tomatoes very well. It handled the Brussels sprouts very well. When produce was a little bit denser, it did struggle a bit more, but otherwise, super enjoyable knife to use. Again, particularly in hand. It being AEB-L and me recently being a dog dad, what that meant is sometimes I could be cutting a piece of produce, trying to film something for all of you. Dog needed to go out. I could put it down with confidence knowing I would come back, and if I forgot to dry it, it would be completely fine. So who's this knife really for? Well, at the price point of 100 USD, I think this is a really good entry-level knife for someone moving on from your classic IKEA knives, or maybe your family passed down knives to you, but let's be real, they're knives that, do they really need to be passed down? You get where I'm coming from, right? In terms of cutting potential, they're probably left more to be desired. These are great entry-level knives. It's not that they're not for pros, but in terms of price to quality, it's fantastic. 100 USD, to most actually probably seems like a lot for a 100 millimeter or 4-inch paring knife, but to me now, having used it, someone who has over 45 knives, I can tell you that the quality is there. Again, super nice finish. One of my favorite parts, and in fact I told Quintin about this, I couldn't remember how we named this piece of geometry on the handle, but his Coke bottle shape of the handle. It fits really nice in hand, and in fact, the bigger the knives got that he sent me, the more comfortable they were to hold in hand this way as opposed to pinch grip, because like a Coke bottle, in the middle of the handle it was a little bit fatter, and so it fits very nicely in the palm of my hand. In terms of his logo on the knife and the Echo line, it's very nicely engraved. It's fairly homogeneous in terms of how dark it is. I'm not seeing any inconsistencies, and so again, I am trying to look at this very anally, even if it's a 100 USD paring knife, and I gotta say, honestly, super impressed. I know he has apprentices that work on his lines of knives, so I'm not sure if this one itself was made by Quintin or one of his apprentices. And so if I receive this knife and I like it as is in terms of the cutting potential and performance, then I would expect that when you receive this knife, it also has the same cutting potential and performance. Something else I really like about this knife too is that the tip curves up ever so slightly, and so it makes precision work even more enjoyable because you have, I don't know, an extra 0.5 millimeter. Point is, when you're kind of pulling back, you never feel like the tip is digging into the cutting board because it's a little bit higher, it curves up than where it typically would be. So I did forget to mention one thing, and that's that this knife actually has really good food release, and I didn't expect it because, of course, it doesn't have any crazy tsuchimi finish or kurochi, but what it does have is it has nice sandbelt grinder vertical striations, which you can kind of see depending on some of the angles in which I was cutting. And so food release was either really good, or once it started to stick, it accumulated quite quickly, but still, I did not expect it to have such good food release. And so that's it. I hope you enjoyed this knife review and food demo. Again, if this is a knife that you'd like to purchase, Quintin Middleton sells it on his site for $100 USD. It's a 4-inch paring knife from the Echo line. It's got the charcoal handle, and if I'm not mistaken, he also sells this as part of a set of 3. What is part of that set of 3? You have the 4-inch paring knife, the 6-inch Nakiri, and the 8-inch chef knife. I also have those knives, and so next week, you'll see a knife review on the 6-inch Nakiri. Thanks again, and see you next time.